I'm going to start. And first of all, my name is Álvaro Picardo. I work for the Cesefor Foundation in Spain, that is the project coordinator of SMURF, an Horizon Europe project financed by the Commission, and we recognize and appreciate the financing of the European Union. And we want to thank you for joining us in this second informative session of the project on the process of cascade funding. With me, there are some people from Cesefor, Ricardo Castellini, Ana Mayor, and Elena, who will also present after me. This session is oriented towards forest associations and forest cooperatives in the European Union, in the 27 member states, and we would like to clarify for you how to participate, presenting a call in the cascade funding. Okay, but first of all, let me, well, for those of you who were a little bit late, this session is going to be recorded. And the idea is that I will introduce the project, the SMURF project, with a general overview, and then Elena will present the specificities of the cascade funding process, the first one. So if there are no initial doubts or questions, I'm going to present and I'm going to share my screen. Are there any questions? Okay, if not, I share my screen in presentation mode. I hope that you can see it. And this is a general introduction to the SMURF project, that is the acronym of Sustainable Management Models and Value Chains for Small Forests in Europe. And we want to recognize that Europe is a cultural landscape with forests as one of its main cultural and natural elements or assets. And nobody knows the number of forest owners. It is generally estimated that there are more than 16 million forest owners, and we think that there are probably close to 20 million forest owners. But you are responsible of managing more than 100 million hectares of forest land in the Union. And we think that this poses some challenges, but we want to go over the idea that this is a problem. We think that this is a strength and an opportunity if we are able to join our forces across Europe. And what we want to do with the project is mainly improve the support to small forest owners across Europe. And forest owners are families, but are also neighborhoods, collectivities, and municipalities. So this call and this project is open for both. We invite all of you to participate in developing the European forest strategy, in doing what this fragmented landscape of forest that you can see in the photograph, that's the cadastral map over a vegetation map. You can see the size that are smaller than half an hectare. So that's quite a challenge. We want to contribute in shaping the future of a European small forest holdings, but we need to do it with you. We are conscious that the forest owners associations have a long history in the Union. Many of them are even have been working for more than 100 years, and we need the collaboration of CPF, ELO, Copa Cogeca, FECOF, the Federation of Municipalities, all of you at the federal, national, supranational, regional, and local level. You all are invited because you all have something to say in this. And these are some data on the project that was approved in July 2023, and on the call of research and innovation actions in forest bioeconomy. And I want to also call your attention on the Small for Good project coordinated by NIBIO in Norway, because they are a sister project working with the same objectives that we have. And they are working in Romania, in Spain, in Germany, Switzerland, and Norway. So we invite you to follow them, their project and our project. And this is the code of the project that we have. We are receiving 5.4 million euros to work during these 4 years until the end of 2027 with the financing of the European Union in how to improve this support to small forest owners. And we want to say small forest holdings, because we want to move the focus from owners to holdings in the difference that might exist. This is the list of universities, research centers, NGOs, industrial clusters, and small and medium enterprises from 6 countries that collaborate as partners in the project. And as I told you, our approach is that we want to work in the 27 countries. And for that, we need to engage forest owners associations through this cascade funding process that we launched in September, and that will have 2 phases. The first has already been launched and will end in October, the 30th of October. And the next one will be launched in January 2025. The idea is to engage and collaborate with up to 40 different associations from the 27 member states. For the larger countries, the ones that have more private forest area, like Sweden, Finland, Germany, France, Spain, or others, we have the ranking of the private forest area in the Union. There might participate up to 4 different associations. And in the small ones like Cyprus or Malta, 1 association, okay? This is the list of the work packages and tasks distributed in 7 different working packages. And the cascade funding is part of the project management, the work package 1. And the activities that you will do during the next year, the ones that get to be beneficiaries, are mainly in work package 2, because we want to analyze the situation of the small forest holdings, and we need your contribution in providing information on your own association and your members, and also on the support systems. And we want you to collaborate in communication and dissemination and networking. And because we will organize, I will inform later of the next conference on European forest holdings. These are some of the key results and main outcomes that we are working in. And the first one is that we want to create a European hub or a permanent partnership on the small forest holdings. And the idea is to collaborate permanently with the forest owners associations, not taking the place of the organizations that already exist and are doing an excellent job, like the 3 federations that I have mentioned, but contributing to provide added value. And we think that there is a need for training and in the exchange of good practices between the most developed associations, like in Sweden or Finland, and less developed associations in the Mediterranean or the Eastern countries. And we want to engage at least 60 organizations. In fact, we invite all of you to follow the project and participate and join the hub, okay? Because that's the idea. Even though you do not get to be beneficiaries, because nobody knows how many will apply, you all are invited to participate in the hub. For this, we have the cascade funding that I have already mentioned. And as I told you, we are organizing the first European conference on small forest holdings And we invite you, and in fact, we will pay one person of each association that becomes granted to join us in Rome at the FAO headquarters, the Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations in Rome. And we will also collaborate with the Ministry of Agriculture of Italy because we want to get political impact, to get attention from the member states and the regions on on the forest owners and the forest associations. This will take place, this will be organized on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd of May. So please come to Rome with us. As part of the description of the situation of the forest owners and forest holdings, we are preparing a proposal of European classification of forest holdings to differentiate between public and private or semi-public, and by size and by other characteristics, okay? Because it depends a lot on the type of activities that the forest owners decide to develop. And with all this information, we will prepare a dashboard on the European small forest holdings. And for that, we need your information on your members, your associations, the legal framework, and the support systems. Any organization, administration, any project, any instrument that is useful for a forest owner to develop its activity. And we want to characterize all these in the 27 member states. So without your contribution, there is no way that we that only work in 6 countries can get and apprise all this information. We think that there are very good previous experiences in Europe and all over the world that have contributed to improve the situation of forest holdings. And for that, we want to mention organizations like the Centre National de la Propriété Forestière, created in the 60s in France, that is very similar to Metsäkeskus from Finland, but also not only semi-private and public administrations. We think that we need the industry, and for that, clusters like ProHolt or from Austria, or the paper province from Sweden, or the one from Romania. All those are excellent examples. And I want to highlight, for instance, the Alliance Forêt-Bois, that is the largest cooperative in France, that is the result of the integration of more than 100 cooperatives in the region of Aquitaine. We know that cooperatives are not that well developed in some countries like Germany or the Eastern, or even in Spain. We do not have them. And we think that we can learn a lot from the French or from the Finnish that have, like Metsä is a huge cooperative. In fact, that is one of the largest forest industrial groups worldwide. And we are also looking at the United States and other countries, because the Department of Agriculture of the United States has a family forest research center. For instance, they are doing a survey on forest owners in North America every 10 years. And that is financed by the Department of Agriculture, by the federal government, with the collaboration of several universities. We do not have that in Europe, and we would like to learn from them and create this type of initiative. I also mentioned the American Hardwood Export Council because they have been very successful in the commercialization of oak wood. And in fact, in Europe, we are using a lot of this imported wood from the States when we have excellent oak forest in Croatia, in Romania, in France, Germany. So we have to cooperate among us to improve this situation and to improve, in the end, the economic results of our holdings. We are therefore looking at local value chains, and we want to characterize new business opportunities within the hub. We think that there are good opportunities in the future for forest owners, but there are also some risks and challenges. So we want to work with this. And in the next call for Cascade funding, we want you to collaborate in living labs to try to make a better use of damaged wood, like in the Czech Republic and other regions of Europe. You have suffered the bark beetle attack, and in Portugal or Greece or Italy and Spain, we are suffering forest fires, and in other areas of Europe are suffering wind blows. So we need to take better benefits of these experiences, not positive, but make the best of them. And we think that there are very good new technologies, new programs. We think that the artificial intelligence and digitalization can really make a change in the support of forest associations and forest owners, and we want to collaborate with us in this. So please, if you know of something that is interesting for you, apart from the process of Cascade funding, write us and tell us what you would like to try, and we would like to look for information and help you. We think that Europe is in line with the 2030 forest strategy, is moving to more multifunctional forest and forestry. And for that, we think that closer to nature silviculture is an interesting option. We do not think that any forest management system should be imposed to the forest owners. It's fundamental that each forest owner has the freedom to decide on the goals and the methods to apply in their ownership. But we think that closer to nature silviculture that has been applied in Switzerland, in parts of France, Italy, and it's a key example, Slovenia or Croatia, has been applied very successfully, can also be interesting for other countries and other forest types. And we will work on this, and also on what we think is the best real opportunity for the future of the business of forest owners, and is the carbon credits and other ecosystem services, like the health, providing health from the forest, or working with biodiversity. We need to develop a carbon market platform and work with blockchain technology to guarantee that what the forest owners do is really maintained in the value chains. We want to prepare political guidelines at European, national, and regional level. And I want to stress that the member states and the regions are the ones who have the forest competences, and we need to work with them for the benefit of the small forest owners. And we need your proposals, what you think is needed. And that's why we are inviting you all. And this is all from my side. Thank you very much. And if you have any question, we are open for clarifications now, and you have our contacts there. Is there any question on the project? And if not, the main objective of the session is to talk about the Cascade funding. And for that, Elena will now make a presentation and try to clarify how to do it and solve all of your doubts. Elena, you have the word.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm really happy to be here with you and to be able to share the Cascade funding opportunity with so many associations through Europe. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So this is the outline we are going to follow this in this presentation. I'm going to be brief, so we have a bit of time to have any questions or debate after the presentation. what is the Cascade funding? The Cascade funding is a European Commission mechanism to distribute public funding to third parties in order to assist beneficiaries in the development of a project. So in this case, the European Commission granted the SMURF project with over around 5 million euros, which 4.4 million are for the partners of the project to develop some task of the project. And then 1 million is reserved for these third parties, for this Cascade funding. So we are splitting this 1 million of euros in two calls. The first one is 200,000 euros, and is the one that is we are launching now. So this is the one that is open now, and one that is going to be launched in January, which is 800,000 euros. And this is going to be distributed among forest owners organizations. So our aim is to get in this first call up to 40 associations in the 27 countries of Europe. So the Cascade funding must comply with the following principles, which are the same principles of the European calls. So we are granting, we are looking for the excellence in the proposals, for the transparency. So all the criteria to select the associations are really clear and transparent and described in the full call document in the website. We are based in the principles of fairness and impartiality, so all the applications are treated equally, and also with confidentiality and efficiency and speed. So how does the Cascade funding fit in the SMURF project? So we want to, with the Cascade funding, we want to ensure the participation of the required stakeholders for the development of the different tasks of the project. So in this case, in this first, we are launching two calls. And all the info can be found in the project website, so you can check the activities that we are funding and the deadlines for the activities and everything. So in this first, I'm going to describe you the activities of this first call later on, sorry. So, and why your organization should apply to this Cascade funding? Because we want you to be involved, we want you to participate, we want your voice to be heard. So we want to involve like more associations, and we want to get more diversity, more information and more diversity from many different associations through Europe. So we want to share your problems and improve the search of solutions from forest owners and managers among Europe. And we want to take this knowledge exchange into a networking that will last in time and will create a difference in taking action in the future. So, for instance, we want you to participate in the first European conference in small forest holdings, and then we can share our experiences. And we want you to provide your real life expertise and contribute to the success of this, of course, of this project, but the success of small forest holdings in the future. And as I mentioned, we want you to be part of a network of forward-thinking forest owners and managers contributing to a more sustainable and profitable future for European forests. And we want also you to participate in the elaboration of the guidelines that will help future policymakers. So the first call is open. It was launched on September, so it's closing at the end of October, and we have a budget of 200,000 euros. And as we are aiming up to 40 associations, the grant per association is 5,000 euros, and is paid in a lump sum as a lump sum. The execution of activities for this call is expected to be finished at the end of 2025. So at the end of December, everything is finished in this call, and all the 200,000 euros, the budget is finished. And the specific objectives for this call are to, for instance, enlarge the number of entities participating in the SMURF project from the 10 members, 10 partners to up to 40 associations, to get the direct information, mainly by surveys and interviews, about the European small forest holdings and their owners, and also to capture the diversity of forest associations and cooperatives through Europe. So we will get a picture of how is how are small forest holdings doing through Europe, and promote SMURF project activities in as many countries and regions as possible. So in this call, which is important to mention, is that all the activities are mandatory. So you have to do all the activities that we are proposing in this call. And this is going to be different in the second call. In the second call, some of them are voluntary. So you will choose which one you are applying for. And all the details can be found in the full document call and in the website, and you can also write us for more information. So this is like the budget, the detail of the budget. And later on, I'm going to describe you the sub-activities within each activity. So the second call, as I mentioned, is going to be launched in January, and is going to close in April 2025 with a budget of 800,000 euros. And in this case, each association can get up to 55,000 euros. So, and the activities for this call are going to be, should be done by 2026 or 2027, which is the end of the project. And the specific objectives in this call are to engage other organizations in other SMURF project activities, so in other tasks of the project, and to develop sustainable and profitable forestry solutions for small forest holdings. So in this case, in this call, we are developing the living labs and demo stands that Álvaro mentioned before. So we want to, in this case, foster innovation, co-creation, and collaboration among forest associations and cooperatives. So as I mentioned, some of these activities are voluntary and some are mandatory. So in this case, you will get to choose which one you are applying. So for example, attending workshops and trainings, setting up living labs focused on new business models, setting up demonstrative stands for close to nature silviculture, or promoting pilot projects for carbon credits, also attending the final conference and networking, and also doing some activities related to communication and dissemination activities. And the main idea is that beneficiaries of the first call also participate in the second call, so they can maintain their participation in the project and hopefully keep the participation open in the future. So as I mentioned, this is like the summary of the call with all the information, with the deadlines, which is really important for you, like to know the deadline is the 30th of October at 5 p.m. And well, we have done two information sessions. This is the second one, and we are communicating the results on the 20th of December. And we expect the start of the activities in January, which is also the month that we will be signing the grant agreement. So the detail of the activities in the full call document, you have this table, which is the table that indicates the main activity and then the sub-activities. For instance, the first one is the small forest holdings characterizations, which is based in surveys and interviews. And you have here like the estimation of the time to perform the task, and also the number of the activities per association. So, I mean, we think that this is really detailed, so you will know beforehand how many surveys, how many interviews you will have to do. So this could seem like a little bit overwhelming, but it's in order so you know how many things you have to do. But of course, you will be always supported by Cesefor and the SMURF project in the process. So you will be accompanied. If you need anything, you can count on us, and you will get always the surveys, the templates. So we will give you the templates of the surveys and the interviews, and you will just take them to your associates or your forest owners, and then you will give us the data. So we think it's really doable within this budget and within the time frame of the project. So the second main activity is attending the conference and networking. So as Álvaro mentioned, we expect you to attend the conference in May in Rome, which is going to be a huge event on the sector, and also we expect you to communicate or to do some communication activities through the project from your SMURF to your associates, and from your association to SMURF. So we get information from your countries or what is going on in your region or in your association. So we also want to know about your association's internal communication. And how the payments are made? The payments are made by a lump sum, so we are not expecting like detailed description of the cost and invoices for the detailed justification. So we just need the results of the activity. So you give us the reports with the data, the reports with the surveys and interviews, and you get the payment of the activity. So payments will be disbursed in 2 phases of meeting designated milestones. The first payment is the 50% of the grant and will be reimbursed after the signature of the grant agreement, and then the rest is after the deliverables are sent to and verified by Cesefor. And then, an important part of this call is the eligibility criteria. So applicants must meet these 2 criteria to be eligible. So the applicant is a legal entity based in a European 27 country, and it needs a fiscal identification code in order to get the grant. And also the applicant is a legal organization dedicated to representing forest owners. So we need you to not to be individuals owning forest, but to be an organization representing small forest owners or forest owners having. We don't care either. I mean, you can represent public or private forest owned by individuals or collectivities. And you have to have some associates with small forest holdings, meaning less than 500 hectares of forest area. And we have to know that only 1 application per organization is allowed, so you cannot have 2 applications from the same organization. And then the award criteria. This is a bit tricky to explain, but it's really well explained in the full document criteria, in the full document of the course. So if you please you have doubts in this, you can either ask at the end of the presentation or write me and we can discuss it after. So we are dividing the associations first based in a territorial level. So we are discriminating between supranational and then national, regional, or local, based in the NATS classification European level. And then we are selecting using 3 criteria. First, the type of forest properties represented in the association, the number of associated forest owners, and then the gender balance of the associated forest owners. So, based on the territorial level of the applicants, we first select the see if we have supranational candidates, and then up to 3 recipients may be selected. If there are more than 3, we select among these using the criteria 1, 2, and 3. And then for the national candidates, we select one per country if the applicant is the if the applicant is the only national candidate, we select it. But if there are more than one candidate, the prioritization will be based on the NATS classification level. So first national, then NATS 1, 2, and then NATS 3, and then if they have the same NATS level, then the criteria 1, 2, 3 may be applied. And then when one national candidate has been selected per country, then remaining candidates will be prioritized using the NATS, but in the other order. First NATS 3, so then first local, then regional, then national level. So if the same NATS level, if they have the same NATS level, the criteria 1, 2, 3 is applied to select the applicants. Well, and then I have to mention if there is a tie, we are selecting using the size of the forest area representing, and also like the order in the application. So how is the process to submit your application? So you have to go to the website and then submit your application through the application form, which is in the website, which is this one. And then you only have to fill in a few data. And then the application is considered complete if you submit this online application form and also the application signature and commitment letter that has to be signed by the applicant representative. And this is the Annex 2 in the call. So you just put the data of this person representing the association, and you have to sign and then submit it in this application form. That's it. It's really easy, an easy process, because we require very few data. And then the next part of the process is the evaluation of the applications. And there is an evaluation committee that will evaluate the applications considering the eligibility criteria that I mentioned before. And then, as I mentioned, they will select the applicants following that process. And then just to know that not more than 4 applicants per country will be selected. And we will communicate the results to applicants on the 20th of December, 24. So after the grant process, after the evaluation, when we know the recipients of the call, they will sign the grant agreement, and the initial payment will be made in January 2025. And then we start doing the activities. We will do a monitoring of the activities, verification of the compliance, and verification of the results. And then the final payment will be done through 2025 as you send the results. So this call will be closing activities and payments at the end of the next year, 2025. And then I have some final important considerations. Language. The language of this granting process is English, so applicants must submit their application in English. And then the accuracy of information. This is important because by presenting the application and signing the commitment letter, you affirm that the accuracy of the data is, you affirm the accuracy of the declared information. So you are responsible of its accuracy. And then you are you indicate that you are complying with activities, and that you plan to get involved in all the activities in this call, because all are mandatory. You are not choosing which one you are doing. but you'll get support from SMURF-Project through the whole process. So we will be following you, supporting you, and assisting you in the activities. So we will give the templates of the service and the interviews and the documents to revise. So you won't be you won't be alone in the process. So that's it. If you have questions on clarifications, we will be happy to have them now.
Elena, thank you very much. There is already one question by Pierre-Louis Gastinel. He's asking in the activities.
I have a question.
Yes.
May I?
We'll try. If you don't mind and you can wait, we will try to answer the question by Pierre-Louis Gastinel that has already been typed in the chat. Okay, and he asks if the 3 detailed surveys and interviews are for the same forest owners. Yes, they are. The idea is that out of the 15 owners that you have selected within your organization, that should be small owners, so the 15 should have less than 500 hectares of forest land, although you might have other own members of your organization that have more forest land or agricultural land. Okay, you select 15 for the basic surveys, and then for 3 of them representing the diversity of holdings in your organization. In those 3, you will have to provide some more detailed data on the economic results of the holdings. And since this is not too easy, not as easy as the basic one, we are also conceiving an interview to clarify and complete that detailing survey on economic results and the procedures for accountability. And for that, I want to call your attention on FAD. That's the Farm Accountancy Data Network that is mandatory in the European Union for farms, but not for forests. But there are some countries that have forest accountancy data networks, like some landers of Germany, Finland, Austria, and some others. And I have typed one publication that explains the type of data that we will collect, that is basically what is collected in this network. I hope that this has been clarified, Pierre-Louis. Okay, thank you. There is another question. I don't know who was the first. I don't know if it was Benjamin Chapelet or Michael Florian. Since I have Benjamin Chapelet, the first on my screen, you go next.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I would have a question about the language used in the surveys and the interviews. So I guess it would be in English. So I'm sure there will be a need for translation for the surveys, and after that we can translate again in English to give the results to, I guess, to the SMURF team. And about the interview for Cesefor, so I guess the interview will be conducted by Cesefor in English as well, and perhaps there will be a need for translation again. So how do you think it's gonna work for the interview and the survey?
Yes, thank you very much, Benjamin. This is a basic and fundamental question, and we are sorry because language is clearly a barrier for forest owners all over Europe, because most of them only know logically their own language. But the project is European, and we need to work only in English. We could manage with several languages, but for sure not with the more than 40 languages that people use across Europe. So yes, certainly we will provide all the surveys in English, and you can translate them because now artificial intelligence is doing really well. In fact, the basic survey that I have used as a reference was in French, because you have an excellent official survey like the North Americans and the North American one. Okay, but then you will have to translate again and provide us the answers in English. And the interviews will also have to be in English. And for that, we know that we will have to look for some support, and we are looking for the instruments that can provide simultaneous translation, and we will see how to handle it. But we will try to do our best and facilitate it for you and for your members. But you have to understand that in the end, if there are problems and we cannot manage it, we need to use English. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Benjamin. The next was Mihail Florin from Romania.
Yes, hello. Good evening to everyone. I represent the Romanian Forest Owner Association, the private forest owners from Romania. I have a question. I saw the presentation and I saw, I think maybe page 14, there is a limit to the local forest association who can participate to the project. It's 500 hectares. My question is, for example, if we have a local forest owner association with 6,000 hectares and 2,000 members, is this eligible or not? So this was my question.
Thank you, Michael, and this is a very good question. We are inviting associations that representing forest owners with large or small. We know that most of you probably have large forest owners and farmers, okay? But and that's perfect. And you can represent probably 100,000 hectares. That's excellent. But what we are looking is that your interviews, that your selection of members to interview and for the surveys are of small forest owners. So the 15 members that you select among all of your members, each of them should have less than 500 hectares. So if you have, for instance, 10 municipalities in your association and 6 of them have more than 1,000 hectares, because municipalities sometimes have a large forest, you cannot select them for the surveys. You have to select a municipality that has a smaller forest, less than 500, okay? Because we have to focus on the small, and we should establish a limit. We know that, for instance, in some countries, it's 200 is considered small and not below that. We have established 500 of one owner in one holding, okay? So if the owner has more than 500, you cannot select him for the surveys and the interviews. Is that clear? You have to concentrate on those members that have smaller areas.
Yes, it's very clear. We have in Romania association of the municipalities, yes, and maybe they have larger surfaces. It's one owner there. And then we have a local forest association with many members. Yes, so I understand. Maybe if there is an association with one member of 500 hectares and the rest is 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, then it's maybe not eligible, but it's not the case. So yes, I understand. Thank you very much.
Okay, and also you, for instance, you in Romania, you are a federation of local associations. You are
something like this.
You are welcome to participate.
Yes, apologize. I received your email, was traveling. I will reply you today, and we want to join us National Forest Owner Association.
Thank you, Michael. But I want to clarify for everybody that federations of local associations can also participate. And what we will ask you is that you, with the collaboration of your local associations that are your members, you select 15 different forest owners representing the diversity that you integrate. Okay, so one from one province, another for a different province that might have different forest systems or different productions or different sizes, or selecting a municipality and a family, or a property that is owned by inheritance by a group of brothers and sisters. So represent someone that is owned by an old forest owner, by a male or by a female. We want to capture the diversity within your organization.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. There was another question by Manuela Naldini.
Yeah.
Could you tell us?
My wife's name, please.
Okay. I cannot understand you. Could you try to speak slowly? And I don't know, perhaps not. There is some noise.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now much better.
Okay. So we are a land association based on Piedmont, is a northwest region of Italy, and we are created by a regional law, and the aim, our scope is to associate all the very little owners, private owners. The private owners are the majority of the land owners. So the very difficult is to associate them and to contrast the abandon of the forests. So my question is, we are about 50 associated land owner associated, and we just manage about 50 hectares. So is possible for us to participate to this project? This is the first question. The second question is about the VAT. Our association don't have the VAT because it's not necessary for us. We are not managing business. We have just the fiscal code connected with our association. So is this possible for us to participate only with our fiscal code? We have the bank account. This is not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we got your questions. And regarding the VAT, what we need is a fiscal code. And we know that in Italy, it is not always needed, just for enterprises that maintain a regular economic activity. So your fiscal code is enough, okay? But we need that fiscal code of your association. And regarding the question, you can participate despite the small size of your association. If you satisfy the conditions that you have a web page and you have a legal associations, despite the fact that you only have 50 members and 50 hectares, you can participate, of course. And that's the type of small forest owners that we are looking for. So please participate, present a proposal, and we know that your problem is shared by many associations all over the European Union. So we are looking your associations as well as the Romanian that is larger, and the Germans or the Finnish that have hundreds of thousands of forest owners integrated. You can participate.
Thank you very much.
Have I responded to your question? Okay. There was another question by Pierre-Louis Gastinel saying a kickoff meeting is planned at the beginning of the project. Yes, the meeting will be online meeting. The monitoring of activities that we will do with you will be online. We cannot afford traveling and dedicating too much time. So all of the meetings will be online, okay? I hope that I've answered your question. Thank you, Pierre-Louis. Caterina Palombo, regarding the beneficiary association, can this also be an association with environmental protection purposes that also manages a single owner's land through a stewardship agreement? Well, these type of associations can also apply, I think, with the condition that you represent a group of forest owners. If you only represent one forest owner and you only have one contract, I would say that you cannot, okay? Because we are not looking for single forest owners. We are looking for organizations representing a group of forest owners. But if you have several contracts, and we know that there are many NGOs in Europe trying to promote this conservation of biodiversity in forest areas, you are welcome and you can participate. But you need to represent several forest owners, and several of them, at least 15. You cannot make the surveys of 15 people if you only represent one, okay? I think that this is also clear. Caterina, do you?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you need 15 forest owners within your organization to provide the responses to the surveys. If you only have one, you are too small. Sorry. We accept small ones like the Italian with 50, but the minimum would be at least 15 forest owners represented. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
There is another question by Sean Stas. Will there be a standard template for the individual surveys, and how will the information provided be assembled in the final project report? Yes, you will receive a template for each of the surveys, and you will have to answer specifically with the responses for the 15 or for the 3 forest owners or for the association. It will be us, Cesefor, and the SMURF team who will integrate all your responses. In fact, we are looking for 600 responses to the surveys to elaborate the general description and the characterization of the different forest owners types across Europe. In the United States, they receive around 15,000 responses, and I know that France makes a survey of around, I think it was 12,000 forest owners in the last decade, when the last time that you did it in 2012, and we are expecting 600 responses, okay? But you will not have to integrate the responses. That's our task. There are other questions? It's already 2 minutes past 12, but if you need, and there are more questions, we are open to stay until 12:30. Please, we would really like that you present your proposals. It's really easy. We already have more than 10 proposals successfully submitted. And if you have any doubt, please contact us. But we need you and we invite you. And I think that this is a good opportunity for any other questions that you might have on the process. We know that the language is a key barrier, Benjamin. Everywhere it's a barrier because English, it's not our language. We have a richness of languages, and as we think that small forest owners is a richness, we also think that the diversity of languages is a richness. But we need to understand each other, and we need this. Marco Fernandez.
Hello, good morning.
Floresta.
Yeah, Flores from Portugal. Good morning. We already do the submission of our proposal, and past month, I think, and we exciting to work with SMURF. Thank you.
Oh, excellent, Marco. Thank you very much for your interest and your participation, and we are absolutely willing to collaborate with you in this.
We are an association with small owners, with small plots, and is a small region. We have wildfires this past month. Wildfires that supposedly everything saw in the television in Portugal. We have a region with very intensive wildfires, and the forest is a need to be working on. So thanks.
Yes, we need to work together, despite it might be forest fires or the bark beetle attacks, or there are many problems for us across Europe. So we are inviting all of you. I want to also to thank the Latvian Forest Owners Associations. We hope that you participate. The most associations that participate, the reaches the diversity that we can capture. Okay. And these presentations will be available in the webpage, but also I think that Elena might send it back to you through email. The two presentations, and particularly the one by Elena that contains all the details that you need. Okay, if there are no more questions, thank you very much for your time, for your interest, and we highly recommend that you present your proposal. Try to do it as soon as possible. It doesn't take more than half an hour, we think, but do not wait to the final moment. The last moment is the 30th of October, the last day of October at 5 p.m. Central European time. So please do not leave it for the final moment. The sooner you do it, the sooner that we can help you if you have any problem in presenting the call. Okay. Well, thank you very much, and we hope to see you in another project event, and hopefully in Rome in person at the Conference of European Forest Owners. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We will get back to you with the presentation.
Thank
Can
you.
we take
Bye.
a photograph? If you don't mind, and you connect your camera, we would like to take a photograph of the group that is attending the meeting. Thank you very much. I can see Dimitri. It's good to see you after some time. So we cannot get so many people as we have, but thank you very much for putting your cameras on. Okay, it's done. Thank you very much, and see you soon.
Thank you very much for your attendance.
Bye. Gracias.
Thank you, Álvaro. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye.
Obrigado. Grazie
Grazie.
mille. A bientôt. Auf Wiedersehen.
Thank you.